Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at my Aces of Eights modified build, and I want to say that this build seems to me the best build in terms of support in this game. If you're making a support build, Aces and Eights is the best to use. Now let's look at these items, and I did take my old Aces and Eights and I modified it a little bit just to add extra things, because now all I need is the 4-piece. And I wonder why a lot more people are not running this build. Perhaps nobody wants to play a marksman build and they just want to play a support build, because to be very honest, running this build, even with a controller, the build still does very well. And so I know people may say, well, you're on PC and you hit better, whatever. I play with the controller once in a while when I'm hanging out with like a whole bunch of people. And so sometimes I can't use my mouse and keyboard, and I connect my Xbox controller, and this thing hits very well, because you mainly need to have body shots if you're running a build like this. Just prioritize weapon damage and then do body shots, and you're going to still get, the bonuses that I'm going to show you. Now, headshots are nice. So if here on PC, the build looks like a more headshot based build, but there's a way you can build it if you're wanting to use, a controller, or if you're going to be playing on console. So let's look at my items. I have an Airaldi mask. I'm using Airaldi because I have headshot damage and marksman rifle damage. So this is the version I run in a group setting. I'll show you my solo version, which requires 3-piece Airaldi so I can get more damage. Airaldi mask has concussion, 49% damage to elites. I was fortunate to get this, and I think Airaldi and Alps will probably be rolling the higher damage to elites stats on them, because they usually have one attribute on them, so the stat allocation will be usually higher in this sense. So 15% headshot damage for 2 seconds, 5 seconds with marksman rifle. So if I hit a headshot for 5 seconds, I get an extra 15% headshot damage. This doesn't say it has any internal cooldown on it, but it might have something of a cooldown. I don't know, but usually when I'm spamming headshots I'm hitting headshots, usually by mistake, this thing usually gives me a lot of headshot damage. I mean, I've seen to the point where some of my hits are almost 1 million, and I hit them twice in a row. Pa-pam. So an NPC takes 2 million in less than a second. It's crazy how well this does. My backpack does not have a talent, if you notice, but it's an older one from I think it may have gotten in the raid, but I do like this backpack. If I can find something else or craft something else that actually works, I will use it. 9% weapon damage, crit chances on here, and then it's got just a very low health version. I would prefer to be able to get one that has armor or something like that, or has a decent weapon damage roll, which I'll be here crafting all day. My chest piece, also an older chest piece that I got from a while back. This has 18% headshot damage. It gives me 6% weapon damage, and then gives me some decent armor. So I have about 23,000 armor. Could be better, but hey, this is a modification of the build, and so it works out for me. Holster, basic holster. The fun thing about these holsters are, they not only give me the bonus, I can also swap out holsters and use the Jackrabbit holster here. But, these holsters actually do well. They have a lot of crit chance. They have some crit damage. And then I have my marksman rifle damage mods in there. So I'm looking at 4.5% marksman rifle damage per mod. And this one has about 5% marksman rifle damage. 5% weapon damage in total. So 4% marksman rifle, 1% damage. And then I'm avoiding my gloves because that's the highlight of the build. And then my knee pads have some crit chance and also have marksman rifle damage. And then I have just a blue mod in there. I could get a better one to maybe increase my health. But whatever, I'm not looking a lot for health because I do have a lot of benefits with me. I run a drone. It's actually quite nice for me, because if I'm in cover and I'm shifting away from cover, so kind of like shimmying along the wall, the drone just continues to heal me, on like the chem launcher, which you drop it, and if you have to move a little bit, maybe there's a grenade tossed your way and you don't want to get out of cover, because staying in cover gives you so many benefits. And then my gloves, this was given to me by somebody yesterday. We were exchanging items. They were looking for Overlord items, and I was looking for Airaldi items, and this guy just dropped these gloves for me. Full 12% marksman rifle damage, and opportunistic. A lot of people don't use opportunistic, but this is a very wonderful item to add to your build if you're playing support. That's why I said this build, in my opinion, is the best support build, hands down, in the entire game. And this gives me, says enemies you hit take 10% more damage from all sources for 3 seconds. So if we're focusing a heavy and I hit that heavy and everybody is hitting that heavy is now taking an extra 10% more damage from everywhere else. They usually disappear. They just melt without any issues. And so these gloves are, in my opinion, one of the best items that I have currently. And I just slapped it on and we went and played some other missions. And if you're using opportunistic, what happens is there's a little it looks like a badger to me, or a raccoon, or whatever it is, just has this face, this cute face. It shows up on their head when you mark them. It's like Sentry's Call. This build is in the tradition of Sentry's Call. You hit them and this shows up on their head. But the difference between this and Sentry's Call is Sentry's Call, you actually have to, place the marks via headshot. Here, all you have to do is hit them. So be they a machine, be they whatever, you just whack them and then that's it. Now, Airaldi is, the marksman build, if you want to leverage that. So when I'm running this build solo, I just swap to a pair of Airaldi knee pads. That gives me the extra 10% marksman rifle bonus. That's all this build is in terms of difference. Now, I will like to switch. I would like to get a better pair of Airaldi knee pads that can take. There's a new talent called something, I can't remember the name, but it does have 2 arrows and it gives you 10% weapon damage while you're in cover. And that's the ideal talent that I actually want for this build. So in terms of my solo version and in terms of my group version, the build is still in progress. It can do way better. And then, I can just continue to go from there. Now, in terms of my secondary weapon, or my primary weapon, let's talk about my primary weapon. I have Lucky Shot. Lucky Shot says magazine capacity is increased by 20%. Missed shots from cover have a 100% chance to return to the magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, I will hit all the bullets in my magazine. It has a 100% chance to return to the magazine. So if I miss a bullet, if I miss a shot, I get that bullet back. So mine also has, and this has about 18 rounds in the magazine. So all 18 rounds is going to hit a target. So that's what makes this build so optimized. It's crazy. It's ridiculous, and you think about it, you're like, wow, that's crazy. And now my shotgun, though, which is crazy because opportunistic, and I have to quickly say this, only goes if you have a marksman rifle or a shotgun drawn. And so I'm looking at using my Sweet Dreams, but the only thing I just noticed is the Sweet Dream still has 144% melee damage. I don't know if they don't have any plans to update this, or if this was an oversight, or if this is just going to stay that way. But if it does, I'll go use my KSG, which gives me 7% damage to armor. So if I was maybe running up close and there was a heavy and we're just kind of maybe circling the heavy and taking them out, then I can definitely use something like that. Now, other things that you can use for a build like this commando rifle is on sale here, and I made this video purposefully here because this video is selling you everything for a marksman build. This commando is a named high-end. It's in the clan vendor. I'm on level 30, and it has perfectly naked, which says when your armor is depleted, you gain 50% damage for 6 seconds. It requires a scope with 8x magnification, so that's something that you also have to look into. And then they also have some marksman rifle mods here. Let me quickly show you that. Where is it at? It's right here. 4% marksman rifle damage, 1% weapon damage, so about 5% damage just for you, and 3% shotgun damage. So this is actually telling you, hey, come build come build a opportunistic. It's literally sitting right there for me. I couldn't be more happier for having this combination. I just bought myself more, and I bought plenty before, but I'm still buying some more. So if you look at the overall aspect of the build, you're gonna see that there are aspects that really make this build, in my opinion, very powerful. And I have the 45% headshot damage scope. I have damage to elites. I could take the stability mod, but I just wanted more damage anyways. And then 10% stability on here. I don't know if I can get a mod with crit damage or crit chance or whatever. 5 extra rounds. So let's look at my overall stats, and then that will be the conclusion of this video. So in terms of weapon damage, 87%. PvP weapon damage, if I use in PvP, I'll be hitting 40 something K. 21% crit chance, 29% crit damage, 239% headshot damage. And this is just on my marksman rifle. And my damage to elites, where's my damage to elites? I think I have about 60 something. Oh, 79%. Don't have a lot, because I'm running those knee pads. But to be very honest, I'm not really worried about damage to elites. I'm providing the team so much damage, it doesn't really matter to me. So marksman rifle damage bonus is sitting at 56%. And shotgun damage bonus could be more, but there's no room for it in this build because it doesn't need it at all. So here it is, the best support build in the game, hands down. If you want to build other variations for solo play, you could use Wicked, which I have one that has Wicked here and it has rifle damage. I'm testing out rifles, and Wicked gives you 15% damage for 20 seconds, or you could maybe use I don't know, a pair of gloves with Perfectly Wicked, which actually gives you more damage. Or you could go with Sadist. You know, I think Sadist shows up on your weapons, and I think that grants you extra damage bonus in terms of I think about 30% or so, that if your enemy is bleeding or something. So there are many ways to go to improve and increase your damage with this build. The potential is unlimited. It works best in a group setting, but I run it solo, and if you want to do the same, then you have the option to do so. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys watching the video. This has been so much fun, and I have some footage and gameplay for you guys, for those of you who may be wondering at the end of this clip, or I'll probably put it in a second video so that the footage isn't too long and so that you guys can see exactly how well this does in combat. I'm out of here. Thank you very much once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.